Hello, Negros Oriental.
Hello, Sillimanians around the world.
This is Joshua Soldivillo.
And this is Ronelyn Vailoces-No.
You're watching #Silliman.
Good evening, everyone. This is a magazine program that talks about different aspects of Silliman University, a program initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. Welcome, everyone, to #Silliman. It's a beautiful Monday evening. Thank you very much for making #Silliman your Monday evening habit. As you can see in your mise en scène, we have a new venue for tonight's episode. Welcome to the Gonzales Biology Museum. And given that I bet you already have an idea who will be our guests for tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce to you our guest. First guest is the chairperson of the biology department and my former mentor or teacher, Assistant Professor Michael Lotan Alcala. Welcome, sir, to #Silliman.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me and my colleagues.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We also have here for tonight the CENTROP or the Center for Tropical Conservation Studies Coordinator, Assistant Professor Leandro Cabrera. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Today, we are also graced by the presence of the SUAKREM Director and the Biology Department Research Coordinator, Dr. Guino-o.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone.
And the only rose among the thorns, should I say that, the beautiful DOST Balik scientist and also a faculty member of the Biology Department, Dr. Bartocillo.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
So, sir, as we can see, we are at the Gonzales Biology Department. So, let me ask Dr. Alcala, this is the museum of the Biology Department, and how many museums we have here at Silliman University, sir?
Actually, this is the Rodolfo B. Gonzalez Museum of Natural History. So, for museums like this, we have this facility, the Rodolfo B. Gonzalez Museum of Natural History. The Marine Lab also has their own whalebone museum and some shell collections. So that's, I think, the two of what I know of museums we have.
Yes, sir. Is this open for the public or is this exclusive for Sillimanians alone?
It's open to the public, but unfortunately, we're still trying to renovate it, and then hopefully by November, early November or late November, we'll be opening to the public.
All right. So what can we expect here at the Biology Museum, especially that kailangan pa maghintay na lang, I think 2 months for this to be open. So as we can see, may turtle, pero totoo ba yan? Or plastic lang po ba yan? Or we also have here a dinosaur, or is that a dinosaur? Yes, sir.
Okay. There's lots of specimens that you'd like to look at. We have exhibits. That one is a true marine turtle.
Oh.
The one at the back is not a dinosaur. It's the skeleton of a horse.
All right.
What's important is that we have an extensive collection of amphibians or frogs that dates back to the late 40s, 1940s. So that's like quite a long time ago.
Yes.
And we have collaborations with the National Museum, especially for students and graduate students that would like to study taxonomy. So they come here and then refer to our specimens. Yeah, so that's about.
We also have here other facilities aside from museums. We also have, it's like the Silliman Zoo as we call it, but it's the CENTROP, you know. So tell us more about the CENTROP, Sir Cabrera.
For CENTROP, we actually have 2 current facilities. One in Daro, the Silliman Zoo, that most people know. And the other one is in Palimpinon, Valencia. So right now we are focusing on the captive breeding of 3 endemic species. We have the Negros bleeding heart, the Visayan warty pig, and the Philippine spotted deer. Yeah, so we are working together with DENR regarding how to move forward with our captive breeding and also with our colleagues.
Is it open to the public, sir, the Silliman Zoo? And how about the Valencia, the CENTROP in Valencia?
Yes, right now, we are currently closed. This is because of the ASF for pigs. So, as most people probably knows, that our pigs are very susceptible to ASF, and we cannot risk our pigs with ASF. So, at present, we have biosecurity protocols for everyone who would enter the facility, and because of that we also decided to close it to the public.
So you cannot risk the pigs, yes. And it's very important because that's part also of the preservation, right?
Yes, it's part of the conservation as well as because our pigs are critically endangered also as well. So once they get the virus, then it's safe to say that they will die.
Let's not wish for it, you know. But you also mentioned a while ago, sir, about the Philippine spotted deer, and it was given funding by the DOST, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
So we have here the project lead, Dr. Guino-o. Can you please tell us about the project that you are now spearheading?
Yeah. With regard to the project, the title of the project is Enhancing the Conservation and the Breeding Program of the Philippine Spotted Deer Using Molecular Approaches for Natural Resiliency. This is a DOST-funded project, and I'd like to highlight that this project involves the collaboration of the Balik scientists from the DOST, who's with us, Dr. Amy Bartocillo. So, what is this project all about? The primary concept of the project is to find out the genomic profile of the Philippine spotted deer. As part of the long-term projections, we're going to reintroduce the Philippine spotted deer, and one of the requirements for its reintroduction is that we need to have a genetic profile.
Yes, correct.
So, how many sub-studies are there in this project, Dr. Amy?
There are 3 subtopic or three divisions for this project. First is the DNA barcoding or species identification, which will be headed by yours truly, Dr. Robert. And then next one will be about the inbreeding. You need to know the inbreeding frequency, and that will be headed by another colleague of ours. That's Sir Percy and Ma'am Nadia. And Abisanis, yes. And then the third one is about MHC genes, which is all about the immune genes of the spotted deer. So all of them, in collaboration, will give us a genetic profile that will aid us for the introduction of the Philippine spotted deer in the wild in the near future.
All right.
Let me just add something. So these 3 projects, the first one is about DNA barcoding.
Yes.
DNA barcoding is a technology wherein the animal has to be we have to look into the molecular signature of the animal using a particular gene called the CO1 gene. So that's the first part. The second is about finding out the heterozygosity index. So as according to Dr. Bartocillo, we need to find out what is the inbreeding coefficient. And to find out, we need to have those indices using specific markers. The third one, which is headed by Dr. Bartocillo, is she's going to establish a DNA cloning lab. And in this lab, she's going to isolate, or not isolate, to characterize the MHC gene. What is this MHC gene? It's a gene that will determine the immune system condition of the animal.
Yes, thank you, Sir Rob.
So that's the one that she's gonna work.
Yes.
And this is a 3-year project.
Yeah, but for the 3-year project, we are in constant collaboration. The 4 of us is in constant collaboration. So it's a team project.
Yeah. So, Sir Alcala, what's the role of the biology department and the faculty in this, big project?
As of now, it's the host of the project. I think one of the first parts is to renovate 2 of our labs to prepare for the more newer equipment that would come in later on. So practically it gives the department, lets the student take a glimpse of what's going on in the molecular side. So it can be also a part of the student's experience.
Yeah, Dr. Amy and Dr. Robert, why do we have to study these kinds of research?
I'll start with the idea that this century is called the century of the DNA, and the DNA concept has revolutionized almost everything in our lives, from medicine, agriculture, conservation, and so many other aspects. So I think this is one way that Silliman can contribute to, particularly on the conservation and the breeding program of the Philippine spotted deer. The Philippine spotted deer is one of the flagship species for the West Visayas region. That means it's only found in this region. It's a special deer, so to speak.
Yes.
Because there's also a brown deer in, where's that? Mindanao. But the Philippine spotted deer is only found here in the West Visayas region, particularly Negros Island, Panay Island, and probably Masbate. Because if we try to look into the concept of the West Faunal region, these 3 islands were once connected during the last ice age. So that's where we're coming from. By promoting the conservation of the Philippine spotted deer, we hope that this is a critically endangered organism through the activities done at CENTROP, through DALO, and through the laboratory work that we'll be doing with Dr. Amy, Nadia, and Percy, and with the department leadership of Sir Michael. We really hope that we can reintroduce the animal back to their wild.
And also, we would like to advocate the genomics for the provinces. As a Balik scientist, we would like to increase the science and technology personnel of the Philippines to innovative equipments and molecular research. So that's one of our target as a BSP. As well as we would like to advocate molecular research or molecular-based research for making policies for wildlife conservation. And overall, we just wanna take care of what God has entrusted to us.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Amy and Dr. Robert. So when we come back, I'll ask you, what are the roles of the communities or ordinary people towards this research or these kinds of research in conservation and preservation of the environment? So your answers when #Silliman returns. And now we're back. Thank you for staying with us. Before we took a break, I actually asked a question. What's the role of you, or what's your role, or the ordinary people's role in these kinds of research? Let's ask, of course, the project lead, Dr. Robert.
Yeah, thank you for that question. What's the role of the community? This question is very vital because eventually when Dalo and Michael will reintroduce the animals, the community has to be prepared. How are they going to take care of the animal? So in 2010, there was this project, Mike, the FPE project, where the Twin Lake Balinsasayao Natural Park was, the community there was actually prepared through the project of the FPE. So how are they prepared? Should the organisms be introduced back to their natural habitat? The community residents should be the first one to protect them. They should not poach the animals there, which we consider them as critically endangered. So that's the first role for them is to protect, not to poach the animals, and to promote the idea that these animals belong to the West Faunal region, to Negros Island. And that's a big responsibility. You can only find Negros or the Visayan spotted deer only on Negros Island, Panay Island, and probably Masbate. So I'll ask Dr. Amy, in terms of our work in the laboratory, what should be our role to connect the role of the community?
So our role is to train the community as well, know how to, right, Sir Robert?
Yeah, we can take part in training them in the sense that we need to really get into their level.
Yes.
As we said, we need to have a layman's approach in the conservation.
Yes.
We cannot bring genetic terms to them.
Yes,
Diba?
indeed. Ayan.
So we need to laymanize this project, which is to reintroduce the animals. There should be a profiling of the genes of these animals.
So they really have to understand why they are protecting these kinds of animals, right? And Sir Leandro, what's the role of CENTROP in this research?
Now, at present, I believe the current role of CENTROP is to hold the animals in a safe environment. So having our animals in Palimpinon and Daro provides them a safe space where they can move around, as well as to also provide the community with, or to teach the community or promote conservation within the community, for them to know that these are the animals, as what Dr. Guino mentioned, that these are the animals that we should protect together. Because it's hard to talk about conservation if they don't know the animals or they don't know the species. And having them in CENTROP, I believe once we are open to the public, having them in CENTROP or where people can visit them would help them understand or will help them appreciate how and understand why they should protect or conserve these animals. Because in conservation, it should be a concerted effort. It's not just the scientific community.
Yes, yeah.
It should be a concerted effort. Otherwise, it will be very hard.
So in a sense, a CENTROP will serve as a refuge or a safe haven for these animals before they will be released to the wild. And it will also serve as an exhibit for the people to, be acquainted to these animals, right?
If I may
Yes,
add, it's like a living exhibit or a living museum. And then earlier also, Dalo mentioned about the concept of refugium. That term means that it's as you've said, it's a haven for the animals. We have to consider climate change. We have to consider ecosystem-based adaptations. And CENTROP is at the heart of those two developments today. we cannot deny there will be sea level rise. And CENTROP is located at what elevation, Ganigdal?
That elevate.
That's
It's since our Palimpinon is
400,
found in
500.
Valencia, so
That's
it's
400
relatively
meters
Hi.
above
high
sea level. So it's really something that is very important. The role of CENTROP is very critical, and I think Silliman University is at the right track of promoting the conservation of these animals. The Philippine spotted deer, the Taliktik hornbill, and the Negros leading heart pigeon, and many other endemics in the island.
Thank you for that, Sir Robert. Now, Sir Alcala, what are the other researches or studies that are spearheaded by the biology department?
For our researches, we have I think three. First off is the BCMP, that's Biodiversity Conservation Monitoring Project with our partners EDC, Energy Development Corporation. We're providing them with data gathered from research on conservation initiatives or threats dito sa EDC. The other one is PHIRES, PHIRES, which is about students from foreign universities come to the Philippines, specifically Silliman University Bio Department, and then they get to experience research, how to do research. Last mid-year, we had 5 students. They were studying a variety of small research.
From which countries are they from?
Mostly US.
US.
And each of the students are assigned a mentor, and they become mentees, and then they do the research methodologies here. And then hopefully they complete their study and then present it in the US. So we're on year 2. Year 3 is upcoming next year, that's 2024. Sir Robert is also one of the mentors. And then lastly, we have the Ilog Hinambangan
River Basin.
River Basin study, management plan, which
Plan.
Sir Robert is also involved together with Elise, our CENTROP liaison officer. So she's also involved in the project. So it's
Yeah. I have a lot of questions, including animals and plants, because biology is really encompassing, right? But it's unfortunate to say that we are running out of time. But let's break the ice before we actually end this conversation. I have one question that could be answered by all of you. If you are an animal, what kind of animal are you and why?
Wow.
Let's start with who's the bravest soul?
Alphabetical.
Doc Aimee.
If I am an animal, I would be an orca. So an orca can travel anywhere in the world, as well as, so it has an adventurous heart, and also it's caring and nurturing, but also fierce.
So you are
yes,
fierce and babae.
yes, go women. Okay, so that's all.
Yeah. Dr. Robert, thank you for that, Doc Aimee.
If I were an animal, I would be a fish, a freshwater fish. Why? Because freshwater is a very limited resource in the planet.
Wow.
And fish is because that's one of the protein sources for the Philippine nation as well. So that's.
So you like to be the protein. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, Dr. Robert. Sir Alcala.
if I were an animal, I would choose an insect because it's like you're pollinating, so you're spreading information, education, because pollens are like seeds of knowledge.
Yes.
Very good.
Dr.
So if I were an animal, I will be an osprey. No, an osprey is a bird of prey that feeds specifically on fish.
So you are the predator.
So very healthy diet.
So that's my purpose, Dal. Provide food.
Provide food.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your answers. It was such a fun, hearing your ideas on what type of animal you can be if you are an animal. But let us hear first your message before we end this episode, Sir Alcala.
Sige, so my parting message is that I'd like to invite students, aspiring students who want to study biology. The department is open. Hapit na second semester.
Yes, you might shift.
If you like to pursue a career in science, specifically biology, come to the right place, the bio department.
Yeah, Dr. Robert.
Yeah, my parting message is let me remind everyone that we are called to be stewards. And stewardship is one of the key environmental principles that we always have to remember. Each one of us, we are called to be stewards. And in our responsibility as stewards, we should take good care of what God has entrusted to us. So whether you are in the academe, whether you are the regular person in the street, you have a role to play as far as stewardship is concerned. So let's be good stewards.
Thank you, Sir Robert, for that reminder.
Yes, thank you. For me, I hope that we will not get tired of being a voice to the voiceless biodiversity, as well as to be a voice and advocate for the neglected biodiversity, especially our endangered and endemic species. So that's all.
Thank you, Doc Amy. Sir Leandro.
Sinabi na nila. Sinabi nila lahat. Sorry. My parting message is to highlight the importance of conservation, like what Dr. Robert and Dr. Amy mentioned, that conservation it should be a concerted effort, and let us not be shy in doing our part, or let us be very active in doing our part for conservation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Leandro, Dr. Amy, Dr. Robert, and Sir Alcala. With this conversation we had, it reminded me of the 4 laws of ecology. Everything is connected to everything else, everything must go somewhere, and the 3rd law is nature knows best, and the 4th one, there's no such thing as free lunch. And sometimes when we talk about nature, it seems that human beings are not part of it, right? Or we are separated from the forest or the ecosystems. But human beings, human as we are part of nature, and we are nature. So as stewards of the earth, I hope that we should protect it, because we cannot get another or second earth, right? So thank you very much. This has been Ronelyn Faith Vailoces, and to God be the glory. Hello there, Sillimanians. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. That is #Silliman. Click the notification bell for more information or updates about #Silliman. And we are also at YouTube. So that is #Silliman. Kindly also like, share, and follow. Of course, you can also see us at Channel 6 Film Products every Monday at 8 p.m. and replays will be shown every Tuesday before the noontime news and every Saturday after the noontime news. This has been Ronelyn Faith Vailoces-No. See you next week only here on
#Silliman.